How has been this journey over this course of time?
It has been fantastic. It has been enriching. We have got lot of success also, contentment, praises and support from the people. We opened one higher secondary school also, integrated school program. We have given state topper in one or the other exam.
Well, hello and welcome to a very special episode of Goa Connect, and I have with me in studio a very good friend of mine who have been having this conversation on education and on competitive exam for quite some time now. In the studio, I have Yogendra Singh Sikarwar, Director of Estellar Academy. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rohit.
Over these years, I think we've had a lot of conversation with respect to education, whether it was during pandemic, post-pandemic, how things have coped up, how Goa is shaping up towards these new competitive exams that are there. How, if I want to ask you just to start the ball rolling, how has been this journey over this course of time?
The journey which we have here in Goa of competitive preparation, it has been fantastic. It has been enriching, and we have got lot of success also, contentment, praises and support from the people, students also, parents also, across Goa. So that has really been a very good journey. We started with one center in Margao, then we opened one center in Porvorim, then we opened one more center in Vasco. So we have now 3 centers in Goa for Estellar Academy. And when parents requested and we got support, we opened one higher secondary school also, integrated school program, Estellar Higher Secondary School of Excellence. So this is as far as institute has grown. Apart from that, if we see the result, then in results also our performance is every year we have given state topper in one or the other exam. So that also has really been a commendable journey, and it is not that we have given result in just one type of exam. We have given result in all type of exams which are there in at 11, 12 standard in competitive arena and in foundations also. So it's really been a good journey.
So I think you and your institute and obviously your team are kind of on cloud number 9, because you kind of had this impact over these years with the students and also the parents. The kind of trust that you have built and the kind of brand that Estellar has become into is quite commendable. You also mentioned that you've been giving rankers and top notch talent across all the examination. Now I'll start one by one. Recently, with respect to Indian Statistical Exam, you have scored a double-digit rank, that is 39th, and your student Anant Kerur has kind of made it into that big league, because I don't think you have ever given Indian statistical student entry into with respect to your institute. No.
Right. This was the first result. Basically,
so for a lot. What is Indian statistical examination that is there, and more importantly, how is this process different from all the other examinations?
Okay, it's a very good question which you have asked. In ISI exam, Indian Statistical Institute, across India only 100 seats are there in 2 centers which they have. One they have in Kolkata and one they have in Bengaluru. So in this they give programs of Bachelor of Mathematics, Bachelor of Statistics. So our student Anant, he wanted to be a mathematician. So he was very clear from the beginning. When he joined our institute, he made it very clear with his parents also that he want to be a mathematician, and his focus was more on mathematics. So this was exam, ISI exam, which basically tests student only for their mathematical skills. Physics and chemistry are not asked.
No.
So this becomes slightly more challenging to train a student, because only one subject is there to perform. And we trained him well. He also worked very hard. His parent also remained in touch with us during this process of journey of 2 years. And he ended up getting All India rank 39.
Is it different from other exams?
Other exams, how it
because
is?
It is specific to maths,
yes,
especially with respect to coaching.
Right. What happens in normal exams like IIT or JEE Mains or JEE Advance, all 3 subjects are there. Physics is also there, chemistry is also there, and mathematics is also there. So a student need to prepare for all these 3, physics as well as chemistry as well as maths. But in case of ISI, the focus is only on maths. So you have to be really excellent, because you are competing across India just for 100 seats.
Okay, and what is the usual strength that kind of apply for or
across India? If we see, almost 1 lakh student plus participate only for this exam.
So out of 1 lakh, your student happens
Yes.
to be on the 39th
39th.
position.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Also, there are a lot of other exams also that you
Right.
kind of outshined with respect to your performance and your students' performance. JEE Mains and Advanced 2 is one. Warren Tavares happens to be at AIR ranking in JEE
4191.
Advanced. This is
Yes.
4191.
Yes.
How impactful is this number? Because people who are trying to get into this competitive exam or this kind of JEE exams, 4,000 looks very odd. But if you can elaborate and try to make me understand how this figure is very much important.
Basically, what happens now that JEE Advance, first of all, it is one of the toughest exam for math student if you go for all 3 subjects, physics, chemistry and maths. And secondly, when the ranks are given, these ranks, these students are basically are going to take admission across the all colleges. So we have IITs also, we have ISC Bangalore also, we have triple ITs also, we have NITs also. So this rank which appears to be 4191, but when you remove the student who take seats in their choice of college, sometimes students prefer because they are close to some place. Sometimes they prefer because they want to go to some specific branch.
Correct.
So when you remove all those students, then the chances to get a very good college are very high.
Okay.
For example, Warren was getting BTech in IIT Bombay,
Oh, nice.
which is close to Goa also. So his choice was either to pick IIT Bombay environmental science. Reason is when he joined our institute, it's a very interesting thing. When he joined, he was very clear that he wanted to do something for environment. He wanted to be an environmentalist. Not just that, he came, visited our center to check that whether do we have sufficient windows or not. Ventilation, seriously.
Nice.
So he was very different kind of student from the beginning. So he checked everything. When he thought that okay, this is the right place for me, then he joined us. And after that, earlier what was happening, their parents were not very sure that whether he is going to follow our instructions or not. He is that strong-minded person, very firm. Whatever he wants to do, he does that.
Commitment
Right.
तो मैं खुद की भी नहीं
So
सकता.
after that, what happens now? What we used to say, tell him that okay, you do this, you do this, do this. He used to follow that only.
Oh, that's
So even if parents wanted to do something done by him, they used to call us and used to tell that okay, you tell him so that he is going to follow.
correct.
So
That's
that kind
nice.
of
Relation, bonding
and journey we have with our students.
Also, with respect to it's kind of I feel that Stellar's got into this habit now of giving state toppers. There's nothing new. It's kind of a routine that has happened for last quite some time. You've done it in past. This time, early this year, it was Vaishnavi Podekar who was Goa Board High Secondary topper. How do you see this particular aspect shaping up in your institute?
Here I would like to mention 2 things. One thing is hard work, which our team is doing, our students are doing. At the same time, I personally feel that we are blessed, God is nice to us, that we are able to work with such students and we are able to produce such results. But it is very important that if a good student comes to us, then we need to work really hard with that student and raise their level to the status which they can achieve, what the goal which they can achieve to enhance their competitive preparedness so that they can excel in the competitive exam. So Vaishnavi not just did well in Goa board only, she was the topper, 97%. Apart from that, she cleared the JEE mains also. She cleared BITSET also. She was the topper of boards in bio and physics subjects.
Oh,
so she basically was an all-rounder kind of student who did excellent in every exam which she wrote.
Okay, after referring to all these 3 names, they are very young. There seems to be there is a focus that as you rightly said, Warren was very focused that I want to work in environment. Anant was very focused that he wanted to work in statistics, be a mathematician. Vaishnavi obviously outshined other exams also. There seems to be one focus. There seems to be a little pressure also, whether it is from parents, whether it is from peers, family, and also there exists a coach. With respect to Stellar, it is you. How does this three thing, bond together to get the best out of student? Now, at times student is talented, student is sometimes doesn't understand the potential that he or she has. That is where, the coach kind of plays a very important, also balance the pressure with respect to student and the parent. How do you see this triangle?
Basically, as you have rightly said, in this competitive preparation arena, there are three parties whose role is extremely important. One is the parent,
True.
who is going to monitor student at home. Then second is teacher, who tell them, who teach them, who coach them, who encourage them to perform excellent. And the most important is the student. I tell students in my class that you are the one who are the driver. We are at the conductor seat, passenger seat, sitting next to you. We can guide you. We can tell you that, okay, this is right, this is wrong. But you are the one who is handling the steering. You are the one who is setting your foot on the brake also, as well as on accelerator also. So your role is the most important. At the end of the day, we cannot go and write the exam on their behalf.
Correct.
What they are doing after going home from Stellar is beyond our control. So for that thing, we need the support of parents. It is not that, just giving student to us, to Stellar, will make the role completed. They need to work, we all need to work together for 2 years to produce such results. And many parents do this job very excellently during the course of time.
I think it's a circle where everything has to balance out properly. Only then you can get the best out of a student. Also, right since inception, Stellar has been always doing well in medical examination. Even this year, the last year were also fantastic. How do you see this getting shaped up with respect to Goa-based exam and also in general per se?
So basically, if we talk about medical exam, this year also, last year we got around 58-60 students in medical as well as dental colleges, in Goa also, outside Goa also. This year also in round 1, above 45 students have got in MBBS and BDS. Round 2, round 3 are still remaining. So we expect at least 10 to 15 students furthermore to get into that. So that way it is shaping up. But now, we are not just focusing on one single thing, which is medical. We are trying to, enhance the level of preparedness of a student for whichever exam they are aspiring for. So basically, if you see the result of Anant, who was aspiring for ISI exam only, he was focused. Then we had a student, Naisha Asnani. She wanted to prepare for architecture exam, which is JEE Mains paper 2 exam.
Okay.
She got all India rank 932 in that. So we supported from all possible ways which we could to train her and prepare her for her exam. So what we basically do at Stellar is to understand what is the level of student, what is their aspiration, parents also, students also, and then we tell them to follow what we are telling them to do. So we keep on incorporating new things. This year also we have incorporated certain things which students and parents are saying are quite beneficial. So their result of incorporation of those activities will be visible in next year's result.
Okay, I really want to ask you one thing is, this integrated school that you have now, one is a category of student where he or she is focused that I want this thing for me. Then there is also a category of student like me, who would not know what, but I know the category or segment that I want to get into. Does this integrated school of 11th and 12th, the higher secondary, helps a student who is maybe doesn't understand things, can kind of focus maybe with respect to counseling, with respect to guidance, and find out his or her way? Is it beneficial vis-a-vis to other higher secondaries that are there, which you would do with respect to coaching in general and higher secondary and your schooling from other? Is it helpful?
Let me tell you how this integrated school program works.
Okay.
Basically, a student who is in 11th and 12th, while they are in 11th and 12th, sometimes in 9th, 10th also, they know what they want to do.
Correct.
So if they want to prepare for a competitive exam, for example, IIT Advance, JEE Mains, NEET exam, or all these exams, then they need to be, slightly ahead than their peers. What other student who is not willing to write such exams, they want a separate sort of training, different sort of training as compared to student who is going to normal schools.
Correct.
it is not that normal schools are not teaching students well. They are doing excellent. But the requirement of the exam is different. It is like, the same cricket match is there, same field is there, same batsman is there, everything is same, but the format of game is different.
So it's like, if I want to have a beverage, so is it tea or coffee? If the coffee is competitive exam and I'm drinking tea, so obviously I'll kind of cope up. So it's a completely different game altogether. At the end of the day, you are having a beverage, hot beverage.
Right.
But so, that's not the case.
Right. So what is needed is, first of all, we get two type of students. One is the one who is very clear that what he or she wants to do. And then they require our support to excel in their studies. So working with such student is comparatively easier because they know what they want to do. There are second type of students who see that, okay, their friends are joining Stellar for integrated school program and they were so in exams and they also want to take admission in that. Now with those students who are not very clear what they want to do, a little bit of sense of distraction is there while they prepare. So that focus, when they come to us and when they see that other students are working hard, many of them pick that up and then they change their course of preparation. But still, a small chunk of student is there which remain in their own world and they are like, we don't want to change.
Okay.
So for such students, we feel a little bit helpless because that age is also quite tender.
Very true.
You cannot force things to them. You can encourage them, you can motivate them, you can tell them they better do this, don't do this. But at the end of the day, as I told you, they are at the driving seat. If they are utilizing their time well, then they excel. If they are not, then it becomes difficult for us to perform.
Correct. Okay. In this journey of Stellar here in Goa, 5 years have been way commendable, and the kind of output that you have done in a very short span of time, considering it was pandemic and all these other things that were part of it. How do you see your future more importantly, and more importantly, what is the future? What is the next big thing? And I'm asking you because, you've kind of created toppers at state level, you've kind of created all this entrance exam, you have, kind of, giving your superstars up there, and also innovating the way you teach, counsel a student. What is the next big thing that Stellar is looking forward to?
See, as the competitive world is, there is no end of, improving further. For example, we have given a NEET topper which scored 680 marks. Now, the topper have achieved 720 also, full out of full. So our students can reach to that level also. And the new student, new breed of student which is coming now, generation of student, they are aspiring to achieve 720 also. In the same way, in other competitive exams, JEE Advance, JEE Mains, there is no end of improving further. If we have given a better rank, then number of better ranks can be enhanced. If we have given All India rank 39, now that 39 can be All India rank 20 also.
You have to beat 39 also now.
That's what I'm saying. So there is no end to the segment in which we are now. Every year is a fresh year. You need to perform every year. You need to prove yourself every year. And for that year students, this is the only time when they are going to perform.
Okay, now very simple question, a very basic question that I want to ask you is, all the people who are now viewers watching now, especially students, parents, is there a success mantra in cracking or breaking engineering and medical exams, and how do you approach?
The success mantra, in short, in any exam, is whatever your teacher is teaching that day, you go home, revise it. When you are revising, then you will realize that what teacher has taught, whether you have understood that thoroughly or not. If not, you need to come next day and ask doubts to teacher. If you have understood the topics which are taught by the teacher well, then you need to solve questions based on that. Because any competitive exam which is there, what at the end of the day you need to do is you need to solve questions.
Correct.
So the more you practice for question solving, the thorough your preparation becomes for the exam. If your exam is asking you to solve 180 questions in 180 minutes, then you prepare yourself for 180 questions in 180 minutes. So that level of preparation you need to do. And if you do that way, basically it is like, going with the flow. Something has been taught today, you have understood, you have gone home, revised everything and solved questions. So the flow is there, things are fresh in your memory and you practiced and learned that thing. Now if you go home, I am telling you other way also. If you go home, if you don't touch it for 2 days, 3 days, it will be evaporated from your memory.
Correct.
Now learning that thing once again, it will be quite difficult.
Correct.
Why? Because you have to do your own efforts to understand what teacher had taught that day, and now it is not that fresh in your memory.
True.
So then it becomes difficult for a student. So going with the flow, going with the flow of river, it is easier to swim with that, rather than when the current is not there and then you are trying to swim.
I was recently watching one web series and it had one of the episodes by named Mulyankan. What you said is you have to answer, keep on answering, and you have to kind of evaluate yourself. Only then kind of get prepared for this, big tickets that are there with respect to medical engineering or other exams that are there. Another question is what I want to ask. We spoke about 11th and 12th integrated high school. Now, I believe there is also something that, would be there available for the lower. For example, if you are kind of maybe an 8th standard or 9th standard, that is where you would like to have a foundation course or something for yourself. Now, this I believe will not be an integrated school.
No,
this is something which will happen with your school and you will have this coaching maybe at the end of the day.
Correct.
How does this foundation course help a student to kind of reach and understand and maybe get focused over this maybe the next couple of years before answering the exam?
It's again a very good question. Let me tell you what happens. When a student is joining us in 11th, they live in the mindset of a student who is up to 10th standard. They think that, okay, studying for 1 hour, 2 hours is more than sufficient and that much is enough to get full marks in exams. Okay. When they suddenly jump to 11th, and when they study that, okay, science, one science book becomes 2 books of physics, 2 books of chemistry, 1 book of bio, and 2 books of maths.
Jump,
Yes, it's a quantum jump. And suddenly when it becomes too much, they are not able to cope up. But those students who join coaching at 8th, 9th, 10th level, they get a feel of competitive exam.
So there is
they know what all is needed. So the transition is not that quantum, sudden transition is not there. They are already in the process of transitioning from lower level to higher level. They already have the habit of working hard. So the transition becomes more easier for them.
So how does this work, sir? Because you have the school also, which is usually in the morning here in Goa.
Right.
And how do you place this foundation course?
Foundation course,
is it throughout the week that is there?
Foundation course we run in the evening only, and that is from 4 to 7:15, and that is not every day.
Okay.
For 8th class standard, we call them for 2 to 3 days in a week. Same for 9th class, 2 to 3 days. For 10th, because it's a board year, we call them for 4 days per week. So in that we train them for their science subjects, their maths exam, mental ability also, because mental ability is one subject which is asked in every competitive exam.
Correct.
If you go for any government job, even if for campus placement, even for MBA exam, CAT exam, mental ability is there.
True.
So it is a very important subject which is not usually taught in normal schools. And when a student is preparing for all these three, then it becomes quite helpful for them.
Okay, while answering you, when we were speaking about school, higher secondary and competitive exam, you nicely said that the moment you are out of 10th, you kind of are into a different zone with respect to studying and understanding. When you're out of maybe 12, you are in a different zone of understanding, studying with respect to your subject that you have chosen. How, if I can, ask your comment, is how this new education policy can change this entirely? Because we always used to name it, blame it, and say, "Ye to purana hai, ye nahi chalega. Today world has changed." Here there is an attempt by the government to change things, though it is still yet to be implemented. But will it open a student to more, opportunities, possibilities?
In NEP, what I have understood is government is giving flexibility to students to pick the subject which they want to be taught. So if someone's interest in a particular subject is there, they want to learn more that subject. So that flexibility government is providing. And it is not just for subject selections for at class level, even at college level also. Earlier what was there, if someone has entered into BTech and due to any reason in 3rd year or 2nd year end or at any time, if the person is not able to complete the degree, then that person is not even a graduate.
Correct.
Right? Now government is giving the facility that you can take 1 year diploma also, 2 year certificate also. So such facilities government is giving so that you can exit and re-enter at the time of your choice.
Okay.
So such things are really good.
Okay, fair enough. Again, coming back to your academy, I believe you are also coming up with a stellar talent search exam.
Right.
If you can just spell some beans so that all the students and parents can get excited. And where is this going? What is the end product of this particular exam?
Basically, through ETSE, Stellar Talent Search Examination, we give a platform to Goan students to write their exam. We conduct this for class 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th.
Correct.
So students of these classes can write the exam. When they are writing the exam, from every school, we take students which school can also recommend. Many times what happens, no, school, we receive calls from the principals also that such and such student is good one. Can that student can get some scholarship or some help, assistance. So for that matter, this exam is really good, ETSE.
Nice.
A student who is deserving will be writing the exam. They will be getting scholarships also for the coaching admission. Apart from that, they will be getting their all Goa rank also. So they can see that where they actually stand. At Pan Goa level as far as competitive preparation is concerned. Apart from that, they get a certificate also, they get recognition. And we, our team, which is their team of counselors, they counsel students also according to their bent, that what they are good at.
Inclination.
Yes, and in which streams they can excel.
Fantastic.
So that way it is a good platform. We will be conducting this on 24th of September across 10 center in Goa. So all major towns will be completed, talukas will also be completed.
So over the course of time, a lot of other details will come out.
Yes.
And any student who is really interested to answering this stellar talent search exam, I think you should kind of enroll and try your hands at this competitive exam. Before I, end this interview, the very important question, and we see a lot of news happening in fintech world and otherwise also. What is the future of education? Is it offline or online?
See, as far as competitive exams are concerned, we can divide education into multiple segments. One is school segment, one is competitive preparation, and one is higher education. So as far as schools are concerned, what people usually think is that schools are just for getting marks, certificates, and they are not training students for anything else. Really, that is not true. In a school, over a period of 12 years, when a student is there, they learn a lot of things. When they enter, they are just a child, which has no learning, no knowledge of anything. But when they move out of the school, they are entirely different person. So school inculcate values also. You learn a lot of things with your peers. Those things cannot be taught by online mode. You can get information.
You have this touch and feel experience.
When a teacher, a really concerned teacher who is there in the schools, and there are lots of good teachers who actually monitor that, okay, such and such student is not behaving properly today. What can be the possible reason? And this is the time when they formulate themselves as a human. So that human touch or, giving inputs at a certain point of time cannot be done by any edtech. So in schooling, the touch of human touch will be there. Offline is the future. What can happen is a certain incorporation of a little bit of things like assessment, online assessment, other small things can be done. In competitive preparation, if you see, then there are 2% of students. Out of 100, 2 students, they are like, very focused, very dedicated. Even if you don't send them to any institution, they will be performing excellent. But remaining 98, they need someone who can, hold their hand and give them the input at the right time that you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. For that, offline will be needed. And in higher education, where, things are slightly, person is mature, they know what is right for them, what is wrong for them. Their knowledge which is available over a wide variety of platforms, they can learn things. Many people are learning different things through online courses. But that will be again a course sort of thing. You don't have any connection. You don't have any alumni base in online thing. You don't know who is the person behind that screen.
Correct.
So for human touch, education,
so there has to be a balance of both.
Yes.
Especially in your primary education, more important maybe till 10th or 12th.
Right.
You need a human intervention where you have to have this touch and feel experience when the education is concerned. over the course of time, things can be different.
Right.
Yogendra ji, it's always pleasure to have this conversation with you with respect to education, with respect to competitive entrance exams that you have. And as we have said, in this 5 years, in a very short span of time, you have done a fantastic result, kind of evolved as a brand for education here in Goa. And my best wishes are you and your team will continue to do so, and obviously your students will outshine you and beat those number every
Right.
time they kind of have this as a flagship particular thing. But obviously, striving hard is what you have always believed. That is what your students will kind of beat over this course of time. It was indeed pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rohit.
It was indeed an amazing conversation. Until we meet next time with Yogendra ji, it's me signing off. You keep watching Prudent.